Untitled Bakers, a few weeks ago we welcomed you into our kitchen on a Saturday morning while Kevin and I made pancakes. Kevin had the great idea to let's do it again, and now we are going to make some dinner. We are going to make potato gnocchi, and the best thing about it is it's no special equipment, it's only a few ingredients, and it's much simpler than you'd actually think. So we're here, we're excited. Kevin, how are you doing?
I'm ready to go.
Baby George is in the corner. He's awake right now, but he's gonna go to sleep in a few minutes. Yes, he is.
He's ready too.
So let's talk potatoes. Few ingredients, like I said. One of the main ingredients, obviously, potatoes. So in America, where I live now, we would use a potato called a russet potato. In Ireland, we use potatoes for mashing called rooster potatoes. In England, you could use, I think, Mars Piper. Whatever you use that is mashable, that's the potato you want. You want a floury, kind of dry, fluffy potato. So anything you use for baking will be perfect for gnocchi. So what you want to do is, let me get a little fork here. So what you need is 200 grams of potatoes with the skin on, everything like this, 200 grams. So roughly that varies, but if you have around 4 of these size potatoes, that's 200 grams. And I have all of this information on biggerbolderbaking.com. That's where the recipe is. So we're just gonna prick it with a fork.
And guys, you may notice we have a little bit of a new camera here. It's the behind the scenes camera.
Oh yeah. What's that catching?
Well,
Just
behind the scenes.
A little bit of everything. So prick the potatoes with a fork. I'm going to put over a little bit of olive oil. Olive oil, just a little bit. So for potato gnocchi, if you do have a weighing scale to weigh your potatoes, it just gives you a more precise measurement. So we'll sprinkle over a little bit of salt. So here's what we're doing. We might see out there that there's a few different ways to do your potatoes. You can boil them, you can steam them, or you can bake them. And let me tell you the advantages of all of these. Baking is the preferred method because it dries them out. You put salt on them, that also draws out even more moisture, and it leaves you with really lovely fluffy gnocchi. If you steam them or boil them, yes, you can do that and it's actually faster. But the thing about it is you have all that moisture coming from the water. So it's best results, stick them in the oven. And if you can't, then like steam them. But this is what you want, Kevin. So a little bit of salt just to draw out the moisture, like I said, and make those nice and crisp. So we're gonna bake our potatoes off at 425 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 210 degrees Celsius, for roughly around an hour or so, or until a fork comes out nice and clean with no resistance. So these are our baked potatoes. I had them in the oven at 425 for around an hour or so. What you wanna make sure is, Kevin, check this out, that they're nice and fluffy and soft in the middle. So here's what you want to do. Now this is really important. You need, check that out. Woo!
Those are hot, Jen. That's a hot potato.
Yep. You need to kind of mash these when they are still hot. So I'm just gonna move this over here. So here's my secret weapon. Usually when you make gnocchi, you need a potato ricer, and those aren't very easily found in domestic kitchens like mine. So what I do have though is a sieve, and I know a lot of you do out there as well. These are really almost just as good as the potato ricer, and it still makes you lovely, soft, fluffy gnocchi. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm going to get a nice clean tea towel like this, and we're going to scoop out our hot potato in there. Oh my gosh, I love baked potatoes. Kevin, let's have baked potatoes for dinner.
Smells delicious. What would you have in your baked potato?
Well, in Ireland, we used to just have, in my house, we used to just have Kerrygold, salt and pepper. That's what I would have, that's my favorite. I know that since I moved to America, like sour cream, cheese is also a good one. We would have cheese in Ireland, but we wouldn't have sour cream on our potatoes. Just gonna put a little bit of potato in here, and then we're going to see the magic happen. So here we've got a spoon here, Kevin, and we're going to pass our hot potato through the sieve.
Look at that, Jen. It's like magic.
So just so you know, if you tried to do this with cold potato or even cooled down potatoes, it wouldn't work. And I know that because we tried it. There we go, look at that.
It's looking really good.
Gorgeous.
Almost clean.
Look, see, now this is what you're going for. Look at that, Kevin, get in there. Light, fluffy, airy potato. That's what a ricer does, and the sieve will give you the same effect. Lovely, I'm thrilled with that. Okay, we're gonna continue with our other potatoes. As we go along here, I'm gonna be telling you tips and tricks, but on biggerbolderbaking.com, I have loads more tips also for how to make gnocchi, and some problem solving when it comes to gnocchi. Like gnocchi can kind of get overcooked, it can fall apart a little bit. I have all of that information in the recipe. Here we go. What you want to do is just spread it out a little bit. You don't want it all clumping on top of itself. And Waffle's just got a piece of potato on the floor.
Good job, buddy.
Okay, Kevin.
Okay.
Look at that. That's a lot of potato for 4 potatoes, isn't it? That's the great thing about these recipes. They yield a lot. Okay, there we go. Lovely. So our potatoes are looking good. I have an egg here, and we are going to beat that up a little bit. A little tip, use a room temperature egg because the potatoes are still going to be warm, if not hot. So you want a room temperature egg so it's not too cold. And just in case you don't eat egg, the egg for gnocchi it's a binding agent and it does hold it together better. If you leave it out, which you can do, they might not be, the structure might be a little bit softer. So I would say if you can, use an egg for sure. So they're not too hot now, Kevin. I'm going to just pour this over. Okie dokie. And then we are going to follow that with our flour. So this is all-purpose flour, and I'm going to scatter the majority of it over. Let me just get some salt while we're talking. So all-purpose flour, you can use 00 flour that's used for making pasta. You can also use a gluten-free flour. If you're gluten-free, that's great. You can use an all-purpose gluten-free flour. So here I have a dough cutter. A bench scraper, kind of more commonly known. And here's what we're going to do. Move the dough around and fold it over on itself. Now, just like the way I tell you with pastries, different types of baking, we don't want to overwork the flour here. It's the same thing. We don't want to develop the gluten. So we just want to fold this together until our dough forms. But just kind of gently bring it together, fold it over. So now here's the thing. For this amount of potato, I used a cup of flour. But everybody's potatoes are different. You might not need all the flour, you might need a little bit more. My dough is still a little bit sticky, so I'm going to just add a bit more flour onto the surface and kind of continue to knead it in there.
I think Georgie's getting excited for his pasta here.
Georgie is a few months away from eating some sort of solid food, so that's really exciting because we're definitely going to introduce him to as much flavors and varieties as we possibly can. So there you go, just bring it together like that. So I'm really happy with this. It's not sticky, it's not too dry. Now this is where we shape it. So I have a few options here. You can put flour on your board, that's totally fine. It's just that it does add extra flour to your gnocchi, can make it a little bit starchier, even stodgier. So what I like to do is a little bit of white rice flour, and what this does is actually dries out your gnocchi and takes away any moisture from it. So if you have rice flour, then feel free to roll and cut your gnocchi on that. If you don't, then absolutely use plain all-purpose white flour. So here's what we're gonna do, Kev. I have my tray here ready to go to put my finished gnocchi on. My dough cutter. We're going to cut off, can you see that? Look at that nice dough.
Beautiful.
So here's what we're gonna do. Cut off a little piece for yourself. Roll it. And then cut it around maybe 3/4 of an inch to an inch thick. There we go, this is our gnocchi, but let me show you how you get that. Kevin, those lovely ridges and the shape of a gnocchi, like the classic way. So we're gonna grab our gnocchi. I have a little bit more rice flour there. I'm gonna put some on my fork. Put flour on your fork. Get your little piece of gnocchi. Go like this. push it down your fork. And there you go.
Gem, that's magic.
Look at this. You don't have to take so long to do it. Like, look at this. Gorgeous. There you go. So as you can see, Kevin, see what I'm doing here? I'm pushing my finger kind of in the middle of the gnocchi. Oopsie daisy. So as you see, when you turn it over, it's kind of folded. It's so rewarding to make something like this from scratch. I absolutely adore it. So you push your finger down in the middle and you roll it over. And then you just keep on going with the rest of your gnocchi. All you're doing is pretty much rolling the dumpling over on your fork. So like I said, put them back over on your tray over here, but don't stack them on top of each other because I did that the other day and they stuck together and it was a big mess. So learn from my mistakes. Gorgeous. It's actually pretty fast to do this.
Gem, I think that's a lot of gnocchi coming together.
Yeah, but Kevin, we eat a lot of food.
Yeah, fair enough.
So there you go. It's actually really fast to make homemade gnocchi. So here's what I like to do. I don't cook them off straight away. I'm going to pop them into the fridge and let them get nice and cold for around half an hour. Also, what I love to do at this stage is actually put them into the freezer on a tray just like this. Then when they're frozen, put them into a tub, and then you have homemade gnocchi ready to go for any dinner. So it's just really, really handy to have close to hand. So I'm going to pop these into the fridge right now. My gnocchi are lovely and chilled. I've got a nice big pot of boiling water here, and we're very gently just going to scoop some of them in. Don't overcrowd your pan. In they go. So when it comes to cooking gnocchi, what you want to do is put them into a pot of boiling water. Once they float to the top, which will probably take around a minute, maybe a little bit longer, that's when they're almost ready. Then leave them for like 20, 30 seconds and then out of the pot straight away. Make sure whatever you use is nice and smooth to stir your gnocchi with. So I'm using a nice smooth slotted spoon.
Oh, look at that guy.
Look, there you go. There's our first one.
He's starting to rise.
Our first one to the party. It really takes no time at all to cook these. If you make them up and want to have them ready in advance, you can have them in the fridge for up to 24 hours in advance. So now they're all floating to the top. I'm going to give them another few seconds up here. And then right over here, Kevin, if you can see, I've got a pan on with a little bit of brown butter in it.
It smells delicious.
I'm going to take them straight from here. I'm going to let some of the water drain off a little bit and straight into our pan.
Wow, so that's how they do it in those restaurants.
Yeah, so
nice finish.
You get a little bit of butter in there. You get it nice and nutty in the pan. You don't burn it. You get it nice and brown. And then you put in your gnocchi. We're just going to let them kind of fry on one side, and then we'll flip them over. Now look, Kevin, what I'm going to do here, I'm going to put in a little bit of pesto. This is pesto that I just made with some spinach and walnuts.
That smells amazing, Gem.
Nice, huh?
Look at that. That's some good technique.
Yeah, well, it's not my first rodeo. There we go. And they're done. Gorgeous, look at that. Oh my gosh. Smell amazing, they look amazing. Kevin, come on over here and we'll try some.
Gem, I'm gonna bring you a little something to go along with it all.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Oh, you're a man after my own heart, Kevin.
All right, let me get in there. Gem, cheers.
Cheers. Thank you, Kevin. Wine is always a good idea.
Absolutely.
There you go, dig in there.
Oh man, I love the crisp outside, but just how pillowy
Yeah,
the inside
and
is.
fluffy they are on the inside.
And again, you don't have to fry them, but those are delicious. Gem, this was like my request. Like I wanted homemade gnocchi, so thank you.
And you got it.
Always let us know any recipe requests that you have.
Let us know in the comments. And for right now, we're going to enjoy our dinner and we'll see you back here really soon.
Thanks, guys. Cheers.